Dear Valve, I've been playing Team Fortress 2 since Halloween of 2010. It is my favorite online shooter of all time, and I've clocked almost 1,000 hours into it. I've seen it grow over the past 1.5 years on scales varying from amazing to absolutely terrible. The one thing I would like to ask in this letter is what were the motives behind giving the Pyro the Phlogistinator? The Phlogistinator removes the air blast ability that is so crucial to the Pyro in defending himself and his teammates, as well as being an overall effective combat class. Removing the air blast gives the Pyro no saving feature versus demo men, soldiers, Gerati, or flares. Also, because you have removed the air blast, you are, whether you intended to or not, promoting the infamous WM1 Pyro game style, which I believe is counter to the mentality of Team Fortress 2. It makes the Pyro a standalone player, incapable of defending sentry nests, repelling Ubers, protecting medics, and it just makes him a suicide bomber, more or less. Not only do you promote the game style with this weapon, the WM1 game style, you also reward players for using this weapon, since the oomph feature on the Phlogistinator completely heals the Pyro and gives him damage reduction while taunting. And then to top it all off, you grant the Pyro critical hits for quite a lengthy period of time. So let me ask, what were you thinking? I've tried analyzing the Phlog from every possible angle. Perhaps you were promoting the fire and forget style of Pyro, where the Pyro flames multiple targets and then leaves, leaving the enemies to die from the afterburn. However, any flamethrower except the degreaser is just as capable of doing that. And the Phlog's crits only apply when actively flaming targets, not during an afterburn. I also thought that maybe you intended the Pyro to be a good zoner, preventing narrow avenues of travel from being used by the enemy team. But then you reduce the damage the Phlog does by 10%, making it an overall less effective flamethrower, even for spy checking, which is, according to nearly everyone, the #1 purpose of a Pyro. Now then, I don't want to be doom and gloom without being constructive. Here are a few things that can improve the Phlogistinator without making it a severely overpowered weapon, or a completely useless one. Number 1. Give the Pyro an air blast or something to use against projectiles. To make it balanced versus the crits the Phlogistinator gets, the Phlogistinator should not mini-crit with the reflected projectiles. Or otherwise, make the air blast cost 30 ammo instead of 20. In fact, the Phlogistinator's air blast doesn't even need to be able to put out teammates. That would make it work amazingly with the Man Melter flare gun, which can put out teammates. Number 2. Have the oomph build up with the damage caused by reflected projectiles, rather than with flames. This is actually a fantastic idea since it promotes the purpose of the Pyro as a team player. Protecting sentry nests and large groups of teammates from enemy projectiles is what the Pyro excels at. Why not reward him for doing so? Number 3. Have the crits apply to all the weapons. This will not make the weapon overpowered, since the shotgun is only really effective at close range, same as the flamethrower, and the flare guns do not shoot very rapidly. Number 4. Remove the damage reduction while the Pyro is taunting. Think about it. The Heavy does not get damage reduction when eating a sandwich. Why should the Pyro? The Pyro should not be a tank that can withstand the fire of a level 3 sentry and 4 other teammates for more than half a second. Please understand, Valve, that Pyro is my favorite class because of his individual versatility and his ability to help his teammates. I think that the view model for the Phlogistinator is amazing, and I love what you and Weta Workshop have put together aesthetically. However, things like the Phlogistinator, in my eyes and in the eyes of many TF2 players, is simply misguided. That being said, I still believe in you, and I hope to see more of your stuff soon. Sincerely, BuzzBuzz. P.S. What about Half-Life 3?